Let's talk a little New York Knicks basketball here on any given Thursday. Harrison and Chase with you on Chat Sports. And the New York Knicks continue to be a very interesting team here in 2021. And I saw an interesting idea around the Knicks here, Chase, circulating on the internet. Bleacher Report first named DeAndre Ayton as a trade candidate. And then I saw some ideas, some rumblings about could the Knicks trade for DeAndre Ayton? So initial thoughts on Ayton possibly getting to Madison Square Garden.
We'll continue to break this down and dissect it on today's show, but the New York Knicks have been in on a variety of big men over the last couple of years. Now, let me preface all of this by saying I like the growth of Mitchell Robinson. I think Nerlens Noel is a twitchy player who brings you a lot of value as a starter or coming in off the bench because he's an excellent defender and shot blocker, but also he's got that athletic ability to get out to the three-point arc as well. They've been in on guys like Miles Turner, at least doing some intel on players like that. So why not talk about DeAndre Ayton? Bleacher Report naming him as a potential trade candidate for New York because over the offseason, he wasn't able to come to a contract agreement on that rookie max contract extension that Luka had signed, that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had signed, that Trae Young had signed. So is that an indication that the Phoenix Suns don't figure DeAndre Ayton to be a part of their long-term plans? If that's the case, I would certainly continue to check in on big men, especially the likes of DeAndre Ayton, who last year really burst onto the scene as one of the best overall emerging young players in the NBA.
So this is the trade idea that was proposed after that Bleacher Report article surfaced. Ayton to the Knicks for Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Alec Burks, and 2 first-round picks, the 2023 one being one of those picks from the Kristaps Porzingis trade with the Mavs. So, that's kind of an extra pick the Knicks have laying around. But I got to say, man, I like Ayton a lot. I think he's a little undervalued. That's 3 legitimate rotation players, though, right?
Yeah, no, I really like the growth of Obi Toppin. Alec Burks gives you a flamethrower coming in off the bench, and as I mentioned, I like Mitchell Robinson.
And he's
there have
improving.
Been signs of growth there. And here's the deal. When you match up Mitchell Robinson with DeAndre Ayton, you're paying both of those guys a different amount of money. I mean, DeAndre Ayton is going to get close to a max contract. So my issue with Ayton, are you willing to pay that much money for a big man who has certainly made strides? He has certainly progressed. He has developed into one of the best all-around big men in the league. Last year, he was excellent defensively, pretty good offensively, even though he's somewhat limited on that end of the floor. I personally value big guys who can stretch the floor a little bit and knock down some threes. DeAndre Ayton, not that guy. I do like his age. I'm just not sure I want to pay that much money because I do like the New York Knicks roster right now, and I do like their front court options as well.
Yeah, I just 2 first-round picks on top of 3 legitimate rotation players for a guy that Phoenix, that's in a championship window, isn't willing to pull the trigger on yet. That's puzzling to me. That seems like a lot. I think it's too much for Ayton because when smart organizations make a decision like that, that tells me if Phoenix isn't sold on Ayton,
that's the thing.
Why should the Knicks be? Why should the Knicks give up, and we'll re-show the trade here, why would they give up 3 players, 2 under the age of 25, and Mitchell Robinson and Obi Toppin, Burks, who, sure, he's not a spring chicken anymore, but he can give you 20 on any given night off the bench, and 2 first-round picks for DeAndre Ayton? That feels rich to me. I would hesitate if it was the 3 players in just 1 first-round pick. There's no way I'm doing it for that full entire package. Like, if it was Robinson and Burks in 1 pick, okay, that's different. But you're going to throw Toppin in there as well and another first-round pick? I think it's too much. I think the Suns would actually win that trade because they would get a lot of depth. Let us know what you guys think. Type K for Knicks, or you can type S for Suns. Now, certainly DeAndre Ayton is the best player in that entire package. No one is disputing that, and I think he could average better numbers than this in New York. I still think he could be a 20 and 12 type of guy because he can stretch to the mid-range and occasionally that three-point line as well. We know he's a good defender as a big. But again, Chase, I think your point of bigs, they have to be special to pay them big money. Ayton's really good. He's not special, though. He's not Jokic with his creative ability as a passer and a three-point shooter. He's not Embiid when healthy, is probably the most dominant force in the NBA.
He's not an Anthony Davis.
Yeah, he's a really solid player, But that doesn't translate in 2021 as bigs, not to $150 million.
Now, here's how I might be in on it. If DeAndre Ayton is willing to settle for a deal, kind of like what John Collins had signed with the Atlanta Hawks.
Sure.
I thought Collins was going to get close to or a max contract. And what he ended up signing with Atlanta, 5 for 125. That's something that would intrigue me with DeAndre Ayton, because this is what you can count on every single night he takes the floor. He's going to give you an elite defensive presence. He's going to be a good rim protector.
Rebounding machine.
Putbacks. Little two-man game with him coming off the pick and roll.
Pick and
if
pop,
Emmanuel
too.
Quickly is your long-term point guard. And while I said that DeAndre Ayton isn't a quote-unquote floor spacer, he's not going to knock down a lot of threes, although he'll attempt some. He does have a little elbow and baseline jumper.
Yep, there's no doubt about that. I just think that Robinson and Toppin are still improving players. I mean, like, these are guys that can continue to get better. Ayton obviously can as well, but I think the Knicks have shown this year, Chase, that volume is a good recipe if you can't get superstars, and Ayton's not a superstar. Like, would I trade that package for a Damian Lillard or maybe even a Bradley Beal or someone like that, a Jason Tatum if he somehow became available? Absolutely. Not for DeAndre Ayton, though. I want to see if Mitchell Robinson can continue to improve. I want to see if Obi Toppin can develop into being a stretch four and a starting piece in my lineup down the road for New York. I don't know if I'm willing to throw that all away for DeAndre Ayton, who is still young and improving, but I don't know if he can ever be like a 25-point scorer.
And here's the thing, too, moving off of that, I'm still intrigued by Obi Toppin and what he can give you. A former top 10 pick whose rookie campaign, he wasn't all that great, and I've seen flashes of him becoming a very productive player, averaging a little less than 8 points per game. He's going to be a very good rebounder. We're recording this on Thursday during Any Given Thursdays. We go live on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel on a weekly basis. That's why you subscribe and join us, youtube.com/chatsportstv. But last night on Wednesday night, it was Obi Toppin rocking the rim in that comeback effort against the Milwaukee Bucks that had MSG absolutely popping. And the athletic intangibles, the athletic qualities that Obi Toppin has is why he went top 10 coming out of Dayton. The former New Yorker, I think he has a lot of growth still left to kind of expand his game just a bit. But from year one into the Summer League, now to year two, I like what I've seen from Obi Toppin. That's just another reason why I'm not making that trade, giving up player assets, draft capital for a player that I really, really like in DeAndre Ayton, but you have to factor in the money that he's going to get.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. So we'll certainly monitor Ayton because the Suns don't seem sold on him, so a trade could be possible between now and the deadline. If you want more free Knicks videos, we are the channel for you, youtube.com/KnicksTV. If you're watching on Chat Sports on Any Given Thursday, go check us out over there, youtube.com/KnicksTV. Now, it is interesting to at least think about, right? Like, if they were to get Ayton, this starting five is pretty damn intriguing with Kemba, Fournier, Barrett, Randle, and Ayton. Obviously, that starting five is better than what you have, but then the depth really goes away because you would lose Burks, Robinson, and Obi Toppin. That's the negative part about this.
And I think the bench unit would take a major hit, and I've said so many times on New York Knicks now that one of the reasons why I like this Knicks roster as compared to years past is not only have they changed their offensive style, they're running and gunning more, playing with a faster pace, taking many more threes. I like the depth, and I like how on a nightly game-in, game-out basis, they have a multitude of players who can hurt you any given night. And that's the starting five, that's the bench unit. I mean, Tom Thibodeau in the fourth quarter in that game against the Bucks had benched his entire starting five, and it was really the rotation players who were able to bring them back in the game to have the lid popping off of MSG. And when you make a trade like that, people get so excited about it because you get star power back, but the underrated aspect that kind of hurts you and depletes you is losing some of those rotation players.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So maybe you don't want Ayton, but maybe there's a player you do want, and let us know. Name a player the Knicks should trade for, and let's hear about it in the comment section. We'll certainly have you guys covered with the latest trade rumors around the New York Knicks because still got a couple of months to go before the NBA trade deadline. So let us know down in the comments who the Knicks should trade for over the next couple of months, and don't forget to subscribe. It's youtube.com/KnicksTV.